as you go into watching this video, there is a couple of videos back that are also about conversations between me and Pastor M. Please go back and watch if you haven't already and enjoy this video.
You know, there's this idea you put forward of time and keeping the time in, having trusting God within the future. And I feel we need to address the kind of impatience that we have as a generation, the quickness of getting things, the overloading. I think we talked about how we never allow ourselves to get bored or to allow time to pass for things to grow naturally. So I feel, how do you address such impatience?
I think one is to say to the young generation, don't feel so unique. Even us guys, when we were, you're not that special. Even us, when we were young, when I was young, I remember just feeling, I need money now, and it'll never be enough. Like, how do I get chums? I remember I was telling you how I told my dad once, Dad, by the time I'm your age, there'll be no land left. You guys will have bought it all and it's getting expensive. Like, I need to do it now. And he told me something very funny. He said, let me tell you the truth. He said, I actually talked to my own dad, like my grandfather. My dad talked to my grandfather when he was my age and told him, Dad, there'll be no land left. You guys will have finished everything. And he told me, it will still be there. You relax. You know, take your time. Build it, pole pole. You'll get there. And so I remember it's a thing for young people to be impatient. I was impatient when I was young. But also to just realize, here's the thing you need to understand. You're not about to die. You're not.
Wait.
Life is longer than you think. When you're young, you kind of think,
I don't want to get old.
you know, 20, I don't want to get old, like 20s, 30s, that's the young age. And then after that, you die. I used to hear people are 40. When I used to hear people are 40, I'd be like, okay, it's just about 1 foot in the grave. You know, he's just about to kick over and die. 40 is so old. But you know what? I've come to realize that's a lie. That impatience, that thinking that I can only enjoy life in my 20s or in my 30s, that's what makes you squander all your money and not understand you're probably going to live to your 80s and your 90s. You will. And you will not be old.
Can we think of 2084?
No, let's talk 50s. Because I'm in my 50s now, and I never thought I'd ever get to my 50s. But I'm still strong. I can climb Gong Hills better than you. I probably...
You miss one. You miss one.
You'll never hear the last of this one.
No.
I'm still fit.
Yeah.
I still enjoy life. I can fly wherever I want to in the world. And I'm enjoying my family. So in other words, don't live for just now. There's a whole life ahead of you where you'll actually enjoy it. Don't feel like you're missing out because there are things you don't have now that you need to have and you're not, you're hoping by 30 you'll have them. Even by 50, you'll still have them and you'll enjoy. And the thing about us as Africans, we have a very narrow perspective. We live for ourselves now. And that's why we'll always be workers for Indians and for Chinese. Let me tell you a funny story. I used to do tuition for some kids who are Chinese. I used to be a tutor, one of the many businesses I've run. And I was tutoring this kid, and I was in a place called Los Angeles. And she was 9. She was called Vivian.
Yeah.
And I asked her, Vivian, you stay with your uncle and auntie. Where are your parents? She told me they're in mainland China. So I said, what are your parents doing in China? She says, well, my parents have a business. And they want it to be a global business. So they have decided they're going to have one base is going to be in China, one base is going to be in Los Angeles, one base is going to be in New York. And so she said, we're 2 of us. My brother is in New York, studying there. I'm studying in Los Angeles because I'm going to lead the business. She's 9 years old.
Jeez.
My guy, I looked at her and I said, this one is going to employ all the Africans I know. Because at 9, she already knows what her destiny is.
Yeah.
And the parents are thinking long term. They're not thinking about cooler the money now. They're thinking, I want to position my kids so that by the 3rd generation, we're going to be a multinational.
Jeez.
But for us, we're just thinking, which shoes can I wear? How can I drive a nice car? How can I live in a big house now? So we get into corrupt deals. We get into things that don't last. And so we have to develop a long-term perspective. We have to understand, I'm going to be around for a while. And that means I don't have to rush. I'll get there. I'll get the nice things. By the way, you will get the nice things.
Amen.
You will. I fully believe it. God will bless you. Because you're his servant, he will bless you. And he will give you all the wealth and the things you're looking for. But the question is, how are you going to build it in a way that you can talk to your kids, look at them in the face and tell them, this is how we build wealth? Because if you took all the shortcuts, you won't be able to pass that on to them. How will you do it in such a way that honors God and builds your faith and builds the relationships around you? And that's why I think God's word is so important, because it teaches us how to do that. So some of the principles I'm teaching this month is the ownership principle. Understand whose money it is. So that even when it comes to tithing, I'm not fighting that. It's God's money. If God says I should give 10%, why am I fighting? What if he asks for 50% or 60 or 70? It's his. So if the reason I struggle is because I haven't yet agreed that it's his money. Once I understand the ownership principle, I'm freed from the grip of money. And then we talked about the entrepreneurship principle. That's a very powerful one, I think, for young people. The entrepreneurship principle really means that every one of us was made in God's image. And every one of us can solve the problems of this world. Like God hovered over the chaos and he said, let there be light. All of us were created to do that. So this whole thing of I studied actuarial science, so I'm an actuarialist. Or I studied PR, so I'm a PR specialist. I always tell people that's nonsense. You're a child of God who is an infinite God. You have no limits. Don't put yourself in a box. I'm a marketer. You can do everything through Christ who strengthens you. So rather than looking for a job, look for solutions for people. Look for people with problems and solve their problems. And you know what? Money is actually a reward for solving problems. When you solve people's problems, they'll pay you. There's no business that exists today that isn't solving someone's problem. The problem for us is when you see someone hustling, you see someone now doing Forex. You're like, Forex has money, let's go to Forex. Bitcoin has money. You don't even understand how it works. I tell people, look for problems. And when you find problems, rack your brain and ask God to show you divine ideas. The people in my estate have problems with trash. They have problems with security. They have problems with potholes. Their lights are not working. There are things that are messed around. Start praying about those problems that are bothering, all the things that bother you, you know. I remember you talked to me about the fact that you're passionate about refugees. And you're bothered that people, I suspect that comes out of you wanting to make a life better for other people.
Yes.
So find a place you can make life better for others. People will pay you for it. And that's what I've learned. That's been my secret in life. I make money through agriculture because I've realized I can grow food that people need. And so I do that. I make money through medicine because I grow herbal, I do herbal medicines and I sell them to people who need them because they help me. And I'm solving a problem for my family. I didn't set out to look for money. I just said, I need good health. So I started doing research about which herbs are really helped like older people. And I found a couple that were incredible. And so they really tasted bad. so I just decided, okay, I studied biochemistry in college. So I decided, what if I can manufacture capsules? So I started doing that for my family. Now I make money doing that. I'm an author. I write books for people to help them with issues of leadership, family. I've written a lot of books. I make a lot of money from books. Can I say that? I do. And they pay me whether I'm working or not. By the way, I'm asleep. I just hear, ka-ching! I check, Amazon has sent me a check, because I write books.
Yeah.
But I didn't set out to make money. I wrote Mizizi because I could see people needed to be discipled. And I was like, God, I'm frustrated. The books I'm using are not working for this generation. And so I wrote a book to help this generation. I didn't write it as a book. I wrote it as every week I'd just produce, like for my youth group, I'd produce papers with a topic. And then at the end, I realized it's a book, but I was not writing a book. I was trying to solve a problem. You get? So how do you find problems to solve for people? I can tell you many other things I make money from that just came out of me wanting to solve a problem. So solve problems, that's another thing. So to stop looking for jobs. Young people are sitting home, there are no jobs. You need a godfather, you need a godmother, you need someone. Like, I'm so frustrated. I've been home for 2 years. Nobody's even giving me a job. I'm a graduate. Not understanding. God, you're not given an education to get a job. You're given an education to solve problems.